Louisville High School, where I will be your host tonight for the Leopard Lair. Before we get started, we want to give a special shout out to our sponsors, the Straggett Media Network, Thomas Dental and Associates, Beatty Sports, as well as Guiley and Guiley. We also want to give a special thank you to Jared Heller of the Leopard Nation, as he's a huge contributor to our show. On our show tonight, we have the Louisville boys baseball team. I am joined here by head coach Brian Warner, as well as three of his baseball players, Connor Morley, Andrew Corona, and Cole Miller. Thank you for joining me tonight. Now, Coach, in your 9th season, kind of take me through the highlights of this year and kind of walk me through the season.
Yeah, coming off of our regional final appearance last year in Division II, we were coming in with a lot of momentum, playing winning baseball. There were some questions coming in with the D1 challenge ahead of us, but I knew we had a lot of good players, so I felt good about our team. We prepared ourselves for our playoffs with a really good schedule, kicking off the season in Tennessee, playing quality baseball teams down there. And then we came home and had a great series against the defending state Division II state champs and runners-up, and we took them both out. So we had a lot of confidence early on, and it kind of carried us through. We did have a rough stretch in the middle of the season there, as most seasons do, but these guys did a great job of getting through that and then finishing strong.
Now, boys, you go through the season. You're the players. You're the one playing the game. What was maybe a favorite game or a highlight of the season for you guys?
Coming and beating Chardon after they beat us last year, that was really nice to get a little revenge on them.
I'd say the same thing. Good beating them.
Personally, for me, it was the Massillon game, the second Massillon game. First one, we got kind of beat bad. Next game, come back, walk them off after we have a little team meeting about what needs to be done better,
Right.
But it was a really fun game, so glad we got the win.
So you took your second annual Tennessee trip, like you said. Now, Coach, how important is it to get the boys out of Ohio and playing different teams than you normally don't?
I don't think it's necessary as far as, we can find a lot of good teams down around here to play. But that trip is really important for us. We really found a way to use that trip not only to play baseball and get better, but it was a way to bond and get to know one another, because every year you got new guys coming into the team who weren't here the year before. You got guys who need to establish new leadership roles because the leaders of the previous year graduated and moved on. So that trip does a really good job of getting us isolated kind of away and spending a lot of time with one another. And when you're doing that, you find out a lot about your teammates, and these last 2 years has been great for us.
Right. Now, as players, what is your favorite part of that trip? Is it the baseball, or is it just hanging out with your buddies?
Being able to spend all day with the team is really fun. Play mini golf every year. That gets pretty competitive. And it's just nice being down there.
I'd say the team hike. Team hike is always fun. Great bonding on the hike.
Personally, for me, we played Wii golf. We were really competitive. Our little room, and the last night there, I don't know if you guys knew this, but we stayed till probably 3 a.m. playing. Got a little rowdy, trying to little team bonding stuff. So it was a great time.
So you guys sounds like golf is the competitive nature when it's not. Who's the best golfer on the team?
Zach Root.
Yeah, I agree. Zach Root.
Definitely Root.
Yeah, Zach just got a second hole in one already. It's 17 years of life. That's pretty impressive.
So take me back to the first week of April. You just gotten back from Tennessee. You had 3 quality wins against Greene, Oban, and Chardon. How do you kind of bounce back after coming from Tennessee? You had 2 losses down there. What was the mentality like coming into those 3 games?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
So when we went down to Tennessee 2 years ago, we played a lot of good. There's some good baseball teams down there, and we came back with some pretty bad beatdowns. So this year went down, and we did come back 1-2, but we competed a lot better this year against those quality baseball teams. So, when we came back this year, even though we had 2 losses, we could pull some positives from each of those games. Honestly, we were probably about 3 or 4 plays away from being 3-0 on that trip. But you know how one bad play can happen, and then some things unraveled. Those teams are in their 3rd week of their season down there. That was our first in second and third game. So, you know, it was definitely a great learning experience for us going through that. And when we came back, I knew we were a good team. The guys knew we were a good team, and we were ready to start playing some Ohio teams because we felt like we were prepared.
Now, for you boys, going into those big matchups, knowing that Chardon had beat you previously the last year, and then knowing that Hoban's just always a good program, kind of what was your mentality like as a team going into those games as the players?
That Chardon game last year kind of had the same thing as those Tennessee games. There was one play kind of led to more things. And, I mean, we can hang with those teams. It's just different stuff.
I think we wanted them back. We wanted the challenge again. We wanted to come back on top.
Yeah, personally, I think it was a little revenge game. And then, you know, Hoban, I mean, everybody, that's a hype on them. Everybody doesn't think we're going to win. We're the worst team. But, like, you know, it's not surprising that we won that game because we all had the confidence we could do it.
Now, Coach, you second year in a row, you've made it to the district title. Not only you did it the first year in Division II, then you got bumped up to Division I. Was there anything that changed your thought process on that, or was it just let's play the same amount of baseball? It doesn't matter what division we're in.
When you get to that point, doesn't matter what division you're in, you're playing good baseball teams. And, you know, our mantra during our playoff runs the last couple of years has been score early, have really good pitching, have great defense, and some timely hits. And last year in our run, if you look back, that's how those games, and we were winning 2-0, 3-1. Those are low-scoring games. And, you know, this year we were facing Lake, and we jumped on them early. And we kind of rode that momentum and had that confidence. It's a lot easier playing with the lead. So if you can score early, don't care you're playing in those playoff games, the pressure builds on that other team. So at that point, you get the lead early, and let's get 21 outs, guys. And that's been really good for us the last couple of years.
So as players, knowing that you're playing for one more game every time for a tournament game, what are the nerves like, and how do you settle those as the team, being that you guys are the upperclassmen?
So, like, every playoff game, I get really jittery. I mean, you can ask the guys in the dugout versus Lake. I was probably shaking on the bench before I went out to pitch. But it took me a couple innings to get settled in. And, like, some of the even guys were like, hey, don't stop shaking. I mean, you're pitching good that way. So, I mean, kept going.
Nerves are there. But, again, it's just a game of baseball. So you got to go out there and compete for the whole entire game and hopefully pull off a win.
I feel like once we step on the field, they kind of go away. We're just focused on winning, and that's it.
So I've got to watch a couple games, and one thing I did notice is there's Twizzlers that go around your guys' dugout. Is that something that just started, or is there like a superstition to it?
So Cam Atwell, down in Tennessee, I don't even know how this came up, but he brought a bag of Twizzlers. Each run we got Twizzler, you gave it to the runner. But and then he just started a thing, Twizzlers Player of the Game. I mean, I got the first one, you know, it's a great honor, you know, love Cam for that. But it's kind of like a confidence booster. You get that. I mean, it's a nice feeling.
I think they built that off of, so last couple of years we've done the Big Cat Players of the Game. And we have this goofy little chain medallion thing that we take pictures, and they do silly pictures with that. And then this year, after the very first game, we handed those out, and then Cam grabbed Morley, and then it just the rest is history.
Now, there's also a stick. You guys call it Magic, right? What is behind that story? Is that relatively new, or is that from the past?
Do you guys know the story on that one?
That was his hiking stick. He got that on the hike. I don't even know how much he overpaid for that stick, first of all.
Okay.
But he got that stick, and then it just magically came up. Came up in the dugout, and then there it is. It's a kind of a superstition that it's got to be there, and we got to win. So
how important is it during games that you guys stay hype in the dugout? Because you guys are all constantly, there's dances that go on. You guys are doing those spins. How important is that for you guys to keep that momentum going?
The stuff in the dugout just makes baseball fun. Keeps you engaged in the game, makes you want to be there.
Yeah, I feel like we have a long season. It's hard to stay mentally there every single game, and that keeps us there, I feel like.
100% agree. Guys like Caleb Parrish, Cam Atwell, I mean, just makes it fun, you know? You come back in the dugout, and they're going to say something funny to you. It just makes the game fun.
Now, Coach, do you pay attention to these dances that go on, or do you try to just lock in and be the coach?
I'd be lying if I if I told you that I don't pay attention, because there's times, I mean, as the coach too, I'm obviously, my mind's always spinning. You know, you want things to go well. You want to make sure you're looking ahead and prepared. But sometimes you get consumed in that, and with those guys in the dugout doing that stuff, there's some times where I just look over and smile, and that pressure just kind of goes away, and you can just refocus and just know that they're having a lot of fun together, and they're creating memories. And when the guys are having a lot of fun, they tend to play well.
Now, Cole, you were all county this year. You also led the team in RBIs. How important are those RBIs in key wins?
It's just timely hitting, Like you said earlier, jumping on those runs early on in the game really help. So I think most of those RBIs came early in the game.
Now, Andrew, you were all district, all YSN, and all county. Your batting average was .318, and you led the team with 7 doubles. What is your approach when you step into the batter's box?
I look for first pitch fastball. I feel like they'll miss with that first pitch, and that's when you take advantage of it.
Now, Connor, you were all district, all YSN. You were also YSN's MVP. So it's funny that you said you got your first Pilsner's Award. And then you were also all county. Your batting average was .43 or .435. And then you went 7-2 on the mound with a 1.74 ERA. Now, instead of asking you what's your approach on the bat, what is your approach when you're on the mound?
So, I don't know. I just kind of went in there and threw strikes. That's my whole thing, is efficiency, and let the defense do its work. I didn't have that many strikeouts, but let the defense do the thing. We won the games. It was a good feeling knowing that I could produce the wins that I did. And we kind of started a thing too. It would be a lion on the mound, take pride in what you're doing. So yeah, that was kind of the mentality towards the end of the season.
Now, Coach Warner, how much do you preach defense, saying that you want to get on the board first, but how much do you preach shutting down the other team by defensively getting stops?
I've been around the game long enough to know that pitching and defense wins. You're not always you're going to run into some really good pitchers out there, and it's going to be hard to score runs. But if I can count on our pitching and our defense to be good, we have a chance to beat anybody, because it's one bad play, one bad inning, a couple runs, it's going to win you a tight game. So the pitching and the defense is I feel like our identity, and when we're getting the timely hits, or when we start rolling offensively, man, we're really good.
Now, Connor, we want to congratulate you on your commitment to Mount Union. You get to go play with some of your ex-teammates from Louisville, Anthony Warner being one of them. How excited are you for that, and what are you looking to study as well as play baseball?
I'm very excited. Like you said, I got a lot of ex-teammates there. They know I'm coming.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. They've been telling me all about it, and they've been hyping me up to the coaches. Hopefully I live up to that,
Right.
but And I plan to major in exercise science, but I want to be a physician assistant in the future, so I'll go to the grad school there too. But it's very exciting. Hopefully maybe I could get some of these guys to come with me, but we'll see where we get there.
Yeah. So last question before we let you guys go is, you got to recognize your regional team, those you guys were a part of, but what was it like having those guys that graduated the year before back on the field with you, seeing them? Were there memories coming back? Did you guys get to joke a little bit? What was that like?
There's a lot of memories there, obviously. So seeing all those guys in the dugout, it was a little weird, because you get used to the guys in the dugout from now, but then they come back, and then the flood of memories come back, everything, it's just really good vibe in there. When they came back, it was a great day.
I think it was sweet to have the boys back. Haven't seen them in a while, and it was cool memories we had.
It's kind of cool seeing them. They're all off at college doing their own things, and to be all back together is awesome.
Well, that's all the time we have tonight. We want to thank you guys for joining us again and taking the time to be here. Again, we want to give a special shout out to our sponsors, the Stragit Media Network, Thomas Dillon Associates, Beatty Sports, as well as Guiley & Guiley. I want to also give a special thank you to Jared Heller of Leopard Nation, as he's a huge contributor to our show. Again, I'm your host, Brooke Heron. This is the Leopard Lair. Have a great night.